working in the mushroom sketchbook. And for the white paper demos, I'm going to work in Daisy one just to switch it up. I did start inking that already. Peace and love, creatives. Well, as you can see, we are taking a look at Baylee Jae's sketchbooks. I have the mushroom one and the daisy one. Now, being that I make my own sketchbooks, I allowed myself to purchase these back in November because the B grades were available and they were discounted because they were not top of the line, and I bought them. On the inside, you have a smooth sheet with mushrooms on it and a place to write your name, which I thought was really cool. And with the mushroom one, I bought the mushroom and the cream color inside, the cream color paper. Here in the beginning of the sketchbook, the page is a little bit stuck to the first page, kind of, and that usually happens when you're making sketchbooks. All you have to do is, just like I did, run your finger up and down the spine a little bit, bring the crease over, and just let it be. Don't try to split the page apart. You'll just ruin your sketchbook and the integrity of your sketchbook. Being that I use the first page as my welcome page, I don't mind it. So we'll move into the second page on the sketchbook and start drawing there. So I'm just going to move the daisy one out of the way for this part of the video. And this sticker comes with every sketchbook that you get, which I think is amazing. It's just the added little perks that Baylee Jae gives you with anything that you purchase from her. And I think it's really cool because she's a small business. She is a one-woman business, and she takes so much, she takes pride in what she puts out there, and you can tell. That's why in the beginning of this video, I showed you a clip of her demonstrating what works on her paper and what doesn't work on her paper of the sketchbooks that she put out. And the reason why I did that was I'm not going to review her sketchbook and say how good or bad it is. I think she did a really good job, a great job at doing that herself before she even put it out to us fellow artists. So what I am doing is putting out there that you can use Posca pens on this paper and it's not going to rip your paper up. You'll get a couple of beaded spots with the Posca pens, but if you want to put Posca pens on the cream color paper, I say go for it. It takes a beating and it works really nice. And you'll see in this demonstration right here. So with homage to Baylee Jae, I drew inspiration from Mushroom Girl, but I didn't want to draw her Mushroom Girl exactly. That's her art. I want her art to be her art. But I did put her sticker up there for a little bit of inspo. So here I'm just trying to get a grayish hue going with little tones of black in it. And I'm like torn. Is it a mountain? Is it a tree? I think it's a tree. I'm going to go with it's a tree. And then I drew some mushrooms right in the front of the tree. And then I'm just going back and forth with light and dark green to get a grass kind of tone in there. Yeah. And then I have a young lady letting you know that this is where the mushrooms grow. Here's where the mushrooms grow. And that's pretty much it. So I'll let you enjoy this art. And if I have anything to say, I'll just pop in. I just want to point out all the scrubbing that I'm doing with the Posca paint pens right here and the blending of the colors. That is not like, that is honestly like super amazing as far as paper is concerned. I just want to put that out there. Any other paper that you would do something like that would definitely already have tears in it and little pieces of the paper buckling up, beating up. So that's pretty cool. Now, as far as the paper texture is concerned on this sketchbook, it's very smooth. It is a very smooth piece of paper, kind of like, even dare I say silky smooth. It's very silky. It's I think that's what's helping the Posca pen move on it so smoothly. So I like it. I like it for Poscas. I'm curious because I know she did the demo with markers, alcohol markers on this paper, but I'm curious to see how it feels because I think blending is going to be like a dream on this. So I'm going to have to try that next. I also am doing this to see which book I want to use first, and I'm going to keep you posted. Now here, what I'm doing, which is what I've been doing for the most part of the art on this page, there's a lot of blending going on with the markers, and I put the darker color underneath and then the lighter color on top, and I just kind of move it around to give the hint of the color, but not so much like, oh, big rosy cheeks there, you know? So hopefully that's how it's looking, and it's not like she put like a pound of blush right there on her cheeks and it went nowhere. So I know Baylee Jae is a very large, well-known YouTuber and has a very a good thing going as far as her business is concerned, and she doesn't need help from a little old, you know, newbie YouTuber like me. But I want to put it out there that we need to support each other no matter how large or small we are. We need to support each other as a community of fellow artists, but we also need to support our local community and the kids and all the children and the adults in our lives who want to pursue art in however that form is, if it's painting or creating or dancing, whatever wherever their creativity wants to take them. I just really want everyone who watches my channel to support all of it. It's necessary. It's lacking. And as far as I'm concerned, the more we support it, the harder it is for other people to ignore the necessity of creativity and the arts. So please, if you are supporting via watching someone's channel, supporting via buying someone's product, supporting via encouragement, just continue to do it, please. It means so much to the other person that you have their back. So continue to do that. I appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. And it's not always monetary, you know, it's not always the monetary part of the art, as more, if not, it's more of the encouraging of the art, you know. So just continue to do that, and I thank you for doing that. You see me moving from one piece of the picture to another piece of the picture, and my reason for that is I have to wait for a section to dry before I continue to do any kind of art on top of it. So I let the section dry, I move to another piece, do that piece, let that section dry a little bit, and then move back to the other piece. And like that, if it's too wet, blending kind of just becomes difficult. And if I don't want to blend it, then it's nice and dry, and I can just layer it instead of just moving the paint around because it's still wet. Like here, there was I wanted her shirt a specific color, and I did not have that color in Posca, so I kind of tried to make it. It didn't happen, but I'm not angry at the color that I did make. And I got the shadows. So all in all, I call it a win. Especially when you're, using markers. Oh gosh, no. Yeah, don't pump your pen on your art piece. Find a separate sheet to pump your pen on. Just, yeah. Yeah. Right here, I'm using the clip to keep the page down because of all the paint that I put on the paper. Of course, the paper is going to buckle, and that happens with any kind of paper. So I don't see that as like a, oh no, the paper sucks because no, any kind of paper that's going to happen. So just, put something to hold it down, and that's what I did. And then I don't have to worry about the paper folding over. So here I just wanted to give a little bit of pink for her tongue and her mouth, and I decided to go in with a Posca pen, and that little area was probably not going to work out. So I just used my sketch pencil that I have to color it in. And I just want you to appreciate the fact that I am just being so aggressive with this paper, and it is just, it's handling it like a boss. And anybody who has done art with Posca pens on sketchbook paper knows what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, get yourself a regular old sketchbook or just a regular piece of paper and use Posca paint markers on them. It's not gonna it's not gonna go like this. It's not gonna go over this well. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. But this paper's taking it really good. And here I'm just putting little polka dots on her shirt to match Mushroom Girl up top. And I'm checking to see how the paper's handling it, like on the other side. There's no bleed through or anything like that. It's a little bit buckled because of the paint, which is normal for paint, and that's okay. And there you have it. What do you think, guys? I like it. I think it looks good. It needs a couple more clouds, I guess, right? All right, we're gonna move on now to our Daisy sketchbook, and it's also B grade. But before we do that, now I've had these Hemi paints for over a year, definitely over a year, and I use them every now and again, but I haven't used them in a very long time. So I figured, why not show you what I do to activate them, to reactivate them, because they do get a little bit hard. Some of them do, some of them don't. It depends on where they're situated in the box. So first thing I'm doing is I'm spraying the whole entire lot with water, but it's not tap water. Use distilled water. You don't want any kind of little contaminants in your water, because that will create mold. So if you're going to put water in these and you want them to keep for a very long time, invest in some distilled water, some, just cleaned water. I think even if you boil it, you might be able to, but don't hold me to that. So what I'm doing here is I've learned that a paper clip, and if you open it up, is your best mixing tool. Palettes get too, I'm sorry, like the palette knives, yeah. Palette knives get too messy and you have to clean them too much. And what do you call those? The tongue depressors? Popsicle sticks, there you go. Popsicle sticks work, but you have to use so many to mix all of that stuff. There's so much paint. So with the paper clip, you have one metal object, you mix it up, and you clean it off with a paper towel, and you keep going. Now, what I was doing before I cleaned it off with a paper towel, the colors that I thought I was going to use, I put on the palette next to me. And that's it. If you don't want to do this kind of stuff, these paints are not for you. Okay, so now moving on to the Daisy sketchbook, which is also a B grade. Now this Daisy sketchbook has the same issue with the first page as the second one. I don't care, I think it's fine. I'm moving on to the second page and doing my art there. So first thing we're going to test out is this going to be devil washi tape on this paper, or is it going to be nice washi tape on this paper? So I mask off an area of the paper and we'll see. Before I start my painting, I like to do an undercoat kind of thing where I don't want to start off with a white page. So I watered down some brown paint and put it on the whole entire page. And then after I do that, I let it dry for a little bit. I clip down the paper so that it doesn't, buckle up, because I am painting again. Now I haven't stuck the Daisy girl onto my piece of paper. I'm going to wait until I remove the washi tape to do that. But I have put her up on the right-hand corner for inspo. Just making a note of that. And no, if you're asking if that's the Walmart symbol, it is not. That's what my son said when he was watching me paint this. It's not the one. I promise you they're daisies. Eventually they'll look like daisies. For the background, I wanted to have daisies in the back. Now, you don't know this about me, but now you're going to. My favorite flower is a daisy. They are just simple and beautiful. It's just white and yellow, and I don't know what it is about them that just makes me happy, but I look at them and I get a smile on my face all the time. I just love them so much. So yeah, my favorite flower is a daisy. So I was like, you know what? That's going to be the background because I said so. And now with this painting, I decided I'm not going to do any sketching. I'm going to throw that out the window, and I'm going to throw caution to the wind and all that nonsense, and I'm just going to paint. And I did. And I had a great time painting. Not only was I excited to use the Hemi paints because I haven't used them in a long time, but I was excited to just like see where it would take me. You know what I mean? So that was fun. So here I'm just, the paint dried, so I had to move it around a little bit. When you're moving your paint around with your paintbrush, especially a paintbrush that you use and you really like, you want to go in one direction with it. You don't want to like scribble and press hard with the paintbrush because you're going to ruin the integrity of your paintbrush and it's not going to last as long. The paintbrush I am using is actually I got in a Sketchbox. I just got this paintbrush in a Sketchbox. It's a Filbert number 4. I love these small square paintbrush for painting gouache. It doesn't suck up a whole bunch of water and paint, but it's enough to make a good painting, and that's what you need. I feel like when you use watercolor paintbrushes with gouache, depending on the brush that you use, it just takes in too much water. And when you're painting with gouache, unless that's how you want to use gouache as a watercolor, it's just gonna be too wet. And for me, it's too wet. And I've learned that I like a nice small square brush for my paintings in gouache. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was having a lot of fun with this piece. So much fun. I zoned out and I just let the paint take me. I did Loki. I let go. And oh my God, this is my favorite. And although I'm kind of partial to the mushroom sketchbook as far as the paper is concerned, just because it's a different tone, and I'm used to working on white paper already, so this one is not as much of a different kind of paper than the toned one, so I'm very, very anxious to use that one. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun on this. I loved every moment of making this cute little painting on this sketchbook. So much fun. If ever you have a moment where you're like, I don't want to do this, or I can't, listen, just throw some tape, or don't throw some tape on your paper. Get out some paint and just put some paint on paper and just let it happen. Just let it happen. It's okay. All right, here I switched paintbrushes to a round. I don't remember the number of it. Let me see if I have it in front of me. A number 2. And I used that round number 2 to make her little smiley eyes. She's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Now, if you notice that I'm kind of like dipping the paintbrush into the paint and then just like swirling it, I'm like making a spinning motion with the paintbrush, and that's to get the tip of the paintbrush nice and pointy, because I was making freckles, because I wanted her to have freckles on her little rosy cheeks. She's so cute. Did I mention that I like this one? This one's my favorite. And with that same dark brownish color, I go in and I give her a little bit of shade underneath, a shady tone kind of underneath her hair and on the side of her face. And the lovely, lovely part about gouache is you got that harsh brown line that you don't want to be a harsh brown line, and you just kind of like blend it in to what you have with the skin tone already, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And then I decided that to incorporate her green shirt that she has in the sticker, I would put that as my background. And that's what I did. And actually the paintbrush that I'm using now is a number 6, and it's a square as well. It's a square paintbrush, and it's from Himi. Like, it's actually the paintbrush that came with that paint, and I really like it. It came with a couple of other ones too, which are somewhere in my hoard of paintbrushes that I store and hoard. But that's besides the point. This paintbrush is awesome because not only can you get like really thick lines and cover a large portion, but you can get a thin line and cover a small portion with the same paintbrush. And you don't have to like switch back and forth with like a round and a square. So yes, your paintbrushes are so awesome, and don't just have one. If you do just have one, that's okay, but experiment with different paintbrushes because paintbrushes are awesome and they will help you make a better painting if you have the right paintbrush. Not all paintbrushes were created equal. Now, as far as these sketchbooks availability right now, they're not available. They actually sold out, I want to say December or early November 2021. But she will be getting more sketchbooks in the future. It won't be the same style because she is Baylee and she's going to switch things up because that's what she does. But I think as far as the paper is concerned, it's probably going to be the same style of paper. I don't see her changing it, especially the way the papers work with the different kinds of mediums that she uses and the different kind of mediums that we use, and how much she like trialed and error the papers on her channel, which by the way I will leave in a link in my description, all of her videos showing how much effort she put into making these sketchbooks. I'll try to link them all in. I might miss one or two, but I'll just you know what, I'll just link her into the description and then you can just find it in her videos. As far as her business is concerned, like, I just want to put it out there on how like really cool and amazing this person is. She is a one-woman like powerhouse, really. She makes sure that what she puts out on her in her store is, you know, top of the line, and if it's not top of the line, she's not gonna say, oh well, you know what, if they see it they see it, if they don't they don't. No, she looks for it and she lets you know, look, I have a couple of B grades, sometimes she has a couple of C grades, and she prices them accordingly. Well guys, there you have it. You have the tan sketchbook with the mushrooms and you have the white sketchbook with the daisies. What do you think? How did the art come out? I want to thank you guys so much for watching, so much for encouraging me to keep going, and I encourage you to keep going too. Peace and love.